Take a look at this. Let's play.
This is too hip for you. I'll slow down.
Let's play.
Watch all your favorite classic game shows on Buzzer TV, KBBC Digital Channel 13.7.
Hi, I'm John Mallos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this Wednesday morning. I'm glad you're here. You can call into our program at 436, Me TV, option 11. We'll be talking with the head of the Fresno Police Officers Association about the new budget, about crime, about a number of things. You're welcome to call in when we come back. Oh, man, it's a Wednesday morning here on Connect with Me on Me TV Fresno. And, I want to give out the correct phone number, 436 Me TV, option 11. A moment ago, I almost thought of giving you out my cell number, which is incorrect. Also, you can hit us with the email questions, and you can call and also leave a voice message if you want to offer up any opinions, maybe offer up a guest or two, guest ideas, or even if you have any complaints. You can email us, and there's the email right there. We get plenty of emails, as you can imagine. Remember, every Monday through Friday, right here on Comcast, channel 187 and 43.6 and 13.1, you can catch us live between 10 and 11 o'clock, and then you can catch the replay on the over-the-broadcast channels at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 13.6, 8 o'clock at night on 4.6 Biz TV. Remember, you've got to have a digital antenna to watch those two replays today and later tonight. And then the Twitter, if you want to hit me with a Twitter, you can at John Mallos Me TV. I always like talking about the budget. I know it's kind of a boring topic to some because, 2 plus 2 still equals 4, and it can get kind of dicey once in a while when you're dealing with numbers and you're dealing with the mayor and the city council. But the big two big questions of the day that I have for you on this program is, and you can call up at 436 Me TV, option 11 and offer up an opinion, is, do you feel safe here in the city of Fresno? Are you personally feeling the effects of Proposition 47? In other words, have you been a victim of crime? Let's roll the videotape and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about, my friends. The reason I ask is very simple. Because the mayor of Fresno released her proposed 2015-16 budget, and in it there is more money allocated for Fresno and the police department and to try to fight crime. Gang violence is always a huge concern for Police Chief Jerry Dyer and his officers that are out on the street, putting their lives on the line each and every day. Violent crime is up in our city on this day, and because of Prop 47, according to many police officers, including the police chief, property crime is up. Street robberies are up, street crime is up. In Fresno alone, there are more than 20 identifiable street gangs as well, an ongoing problem. It always has been here in the city of Fresno, and trying to contain those gangs from doing minimal damage. Live in our studio right now is Jacky Parks. He is the president of the Fresno Police Officers Association. He'll talk about the budget. He'll talk about the crime. He'll talk about Prop 47. We might even get into body cams. We might even get into Keith Foster a little bit. We might even talk a little bit about Janessa Ramirez, a case that is still ongoing in an open investigation. 436 Me TV, option 11. Hit that on your dial. We're back with our program and Jacky Parks in just a moment.
Frigidaire. It means the first refrigerator. It means a history of innovations that help make your home life better. And now we introduce the new Frigidaire French door refrigerator with over 100 ways to organize for maximum flexibility. Built with adjustable flip-up and slide under shelving and stackable crisper drawers. It's the refrigerator that flexes to fit it all, no matter what your day will bring. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
From a top-secret location, it's the Spies Who Love Me, bringing together MeTV's top super spies to fight evil at a memorable moment's notice. They're daring.
That's right.
Brave.
Now what are we gonna do?
The best we can.
Suave.
Does that apply to me, Oscar? Possibly.
And smart.
The old finger in the gun trick.
Maxwell Smart.
MeTV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
Back here on the program on Connect with Me, MeTV Fresno, of course, 436 MeTV option 11, and the email address, so you saw that earlier. But the phone number, you probably have it already memorized, etched in your brain if you watch this program on a regular basis. Jacky Parks of the Police Officers Association is here. Good to see you.
It's great to be here again, John. Thank you.
As I told you off the air earlier, you're one of my favorite guests. We're always happy when you're here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I always enjoy being here.
Oh, thank you very much. Hey, briefly, give us a little synopsis of what the role is for the Fresno Police Officers Association. You're the president, and your job is to oversee what?
I was elected by our members to represent them as the Police Association president. And the role of our association really is to take care of our members and their families in their time of need. And we began as the Widows and Orphans Fund. And as the labor movement came about in the 1950s, we transitioned into where we became an association that also took care of the negotiations for salaries, benefits, and working conditions for our members as well. We provide legal defense representation for issues that are under course and scope. We provide supplemental medical benefits for our members. And we're very involved in our community. We do a lot of community service and partner with local nonprofit groups to benefit our community.
So it's a big job. And how big a department do you have at the association?
Well, at the association, there's two of us that are full-time. Myself and the first vice president are assigned full-time. We're paid for through our members' time donations. We have a staff of 4 people in our office that help us to make things happen for our organization.
Yeah, but you are, technically you're a police officer, right?
That's correct. I am still a police officer, and I serve a 2-year term. There's an election every 2 years, and if I'm reelected, I can stay. If I decide not to run again or I'm not reelected, I would go back to my last assignment, or I have the opportunity to do that. And my last assignment, I was a child abuse detective.
Yeah, so you must be doing something right, because the troops like you. They keep reelecting you.
Yeah, I'm in my 6th consecutive term.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. So what are you doing right?
Yeah, I think it's just...
It's day to day, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I think the biggest thing that our members are concerned with is service, just like our community from our police department.
Yeah.
If you're providing a service and you're representing them well, I'll never make everybody happy, but that doesn't stop me from trying.
Do you have some officers that are just like, what are you doing? Why aren't you doing A instead of B?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, police officers are type A personalities, and we're never short on opinions and ideas and trying to take charge. So, but I think you have to be open to that, and as long as you're open to it, you weigh things out and you're respectful, even if you disagree. I think most of our members, they appreciate that. They understand, and like I said, I can't make everybody happy, but I won't stop trying.
It's almost like, I would imagine, you can clarify this, correct me if I'm wrong, But yours is more of an administrative position, so you kind of have to be like the police chief. You kind of have to step back before making a judgment call on something. You have to analyze each side and all sides and every opinion that comes across your desk, right?
Oh, absolutely. Every issue that the chief of police has to deal with is an issue that I have to deal with. Whether it's something that is on a video and it calls question on the use of force or an officer's behavior, I'm going to be dealing with that as well, absolutely.
Because?
We represent the officers when they have done something that is under course and scope. When they're acting as a police officer, we would provide them with legal defense. It's everything that he deals with. Budgets, I deal with the budgets.
Wow.
Public relations, we deal with public relations. I think the one thing that we really excel at, and the police department tries to excel at, and that would be community relations and partnering with the community, the local nonprofits, and we actually have the equipment and the time to do that, where they just don't have the resources that they used to have when we had 10-man pop TAC units that really focused on community-based policing.
If Jerry Dyer's in any kind of a situation, do you also represent him? He's also a police officer, but even though he's the chief, can you still represent him like you represent anybody else in the department? He is a member, and it's up to the member if they want representation. There are sometimes where things overlap, where the city may be representing them in a civil matter, or perhaps even in a criminal matter if they chose. In most cases, we would be representing them in any criminal type of a situation, as long as it's within course and scope. Right. Okay. I guess I got to take a break here. We're talking with Jacky Parks, the president of the Fresno Police Officers Association. Hey, his 6th consecutive term, got to be doing something right. And I know you've got a question or two for Jacky. 436-MeTV option 11, and 99.9% of the time, your questions are better than mine. So call in, offer up an opinion, or throw us an email. It's very easy. Back here in just a moment.
We need help to find this missing child. April Andrews went missing when she was 15 years old. She was last seen in Pea Ridge, Arkansas in November of 2006. This is what we believe she looks like today at 23. If you have any information, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678. Please help bring April Andrews home.
Almost time.
Now we'll find out once and for all about Clark Kent and Superman.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a TV show.
Yes, but who is he? What's his name?
He's Superman.
Golly, Clark, won't that be wonderful seeing Superman
fighting a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and television the MeTV way.
No one can do the things that Superman does.
The adventures of Superman.
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Here's the thing, my friends. At the beginning of the program, I posed a couple of questions. Number one, do you feel safe living in the city of Fresno? And do you feel the effects of Prop 47? In fact, do you feel that you've been a victim of crime at any particular point since Prop 47 went into effect? Those are the two big questions. And I guess maybe another question you could toss in there. Is there anything that you would like to see the Fresno Police Department doing any differently to try to protect you and me? Jacky Parks is here from the Fresno Police Officers Association. 436-MeTV option 11. Here's a question about body cams, Jacky, and I'm not sure how it's the way it's phrased. I'm not quite sure I understand it. But are you in favor of body cams? Do you like the idea or no?
We support responsible use of body cams, and for the city of Fresno, we've negotiated a policy and a procedure with the department on what we believe is a very responsible use of the body cameras. As you know, in the budget, you'll see that the majority of our body cameras this year have been provided to us through private donation from an anonymous donor. There is some assistance through the general fund that looks like to help assist for the data storage, and that's the most expensive part. from the Fresno Police Officer Association perspective, we have a lot of concerns still on the body cameras. I think overall, in the courtroom, 9 out of 10 times it is going to be to the benefit of the officers that are wearing the body cameras. Most of the video footage that you see in the media these days is not actually body cam. It's still cell phone or from somebody else's camera.
Dash cam or something.
Yeah, most body cameras, it's really going to benefit us in the courtroom, and I think will protect the officers. And I think what's interesting and what concerns us is generally the majority of the body camera video that you see that is in the media is depicting officers in a negative light. And I can tell you just here at the city of Fresno, there are literally thousands of hours of body camera video depicting our officers doing the right things, and you'll never see that. Because that typically doesn't sell, and
Here's the question I have.
ratings.
Let's say I'm an officer and I've got a body cam on me. Is the video rolling all the time, or who decides and how do you decide when to start rolling and when you're recording?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. That's why we have a written policy and procedure, and it dictates the situations when an officer would activate his camera. And our cameras are designed that they can be turned on and off, and rightfully so. There are areas that are private, restrooms, locker rooms. We definitely don't want to have cameras rolling in those environments.
Well, let's say you make a stop. When do you start rolling then?
It's
recording, I should say.
It's upon the officer to activate his camera, and it's going to be a little different for each officer depending on what is involved in the call, because every call is different. So you may have a traffic stop and you may step out of your vehicle and activate your camera. Some officers may activate the camera while they're sitting in their vehicle and then get out of their vehicle with it. It just depends what you're doing. If you're checking the license plate, reading things, the policy that we have at Fresno allows the officer the ability that if things are happening so quickly that they are not to have to engage the camera over protecting themselves or protecting a citizen if things are unfolding that quickly.
So it's really up to the officer when to start recording. There is no set department policy then, right?
Yeah, there is a policy that on public contacts that you should activate your camera. Okay. When specifically that's going to happen is dictated by what's going on with the call. We may be responding to the call, and when we respond to the call, we have information coming to us on our computer. We're looking at a mapping system on our computer. We're trying to pay attention to the roadway. And so there are a lot of things going on. You may not be activating your camera until you actually arrive. And when you arrive, if nobody's outside, you get out of your car, you activate your camera, and you walk up to the address or to the people that you need to contact. If things are unfolding so quickly, you may have to draw your weapon or draw a taser or be prepared for something that you have to react to immediately, and you may not turn on your camera.
Yeah, it depends on the situation. Caller, are you there?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I totally support the Fresno Police Department. They are good people. The Clovis Police Department, I have problem with them. I'm a law-abiding citizen, never been arrested. Back last September, someone, I had an accident in '94. I'm a chronic pain patient, so in my purse, I had my oxycodone pills, my Northcote pills, my gabapentin pills for my nerve damage, my baclofen for my muscle spasms, my clonazepam for my seizures that are all residual from this accident. My medications, they tried to get my purse, but it got stuck on the fence when they tried to jump the back gate, but my narcotics were stolen. And my blood pressure medicine, which I almost lost my life twice, hospitalized for 16 days, then out. Anyway, my phone quit working. Okay, this happened on the 20th. It was reported to my pain management doctor and my pharmacy, and was supposed
Ma'am, could I interrupt just for 1 second? Could I ask you, do you have a specific question for Jacky Parks? Because, you know, you kind of went on there, and I kind of tailed off a little bit, and I kind of lost you.
Hold on.
Do you have a specific question for Jacky?
My medications were stolen, yes. Okay, this happened on September 20th. On September 22nd, my phone quit working. I had someone call on September 26th. Of course, the officer is going to know what happens if you've been on these medications since '94, and all of a sudden you have your opioid medications plus the other medications. I was in, you know what happens when that, if you're automatically cut off from.
Okay, I'm not quite sure where she's going with this. Did you get what she was talking about?
I'm not sure either. I think she's concerned that her medications were stolen, and then she was recontacted by the officers, and perhaps her behavior might have been a little bit different because
erratic.
She didn't have her
she
medications.
didn't have it,
and I think she had an expectation that the officers should have been aware of that, because she reported her medication stolen.
Well, in
but
that
I'm not
kind of a situation, but we can kind of surmise a little bit, but in that kind of a situation, what's an officer to do? I mean, if they don't know. I mean, they don't know. I mean, I'm on medication. How would you know that?
Yeah, and it's difficult because unless it's the same officer that responded the first time, they may not be aware.
Yeah.
In Fresno, we take a report, but it may not be attached, the information that medications were stolen may not be attached to that address because we wrote a report. So an officer may not know that, and the person would have to explain that when the officers arrive.
Yeah.
And it's difficult, particularly if you're not able to take your medications. It's hard to express yourself. Now, one thing I got to applaud Chief Dyer for is we, this last year, went through an extensive training class on dealing with mentally ill people who suffer from stress and other related issues, to better help us as officers to try to understand and to understand that we can slow down a little bit, try to listen to them better, and work on our communication with them.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Jacky Parks is here. Hey, I'm going to put this call on hold a minute. Caller, can you wait until after the break for 1 moment, please? Great. Okay, another call here, 436-MeTV, option 11. Someone waiting on the line, Jacky Parks, the president of the Fresno Police Officers Association, now in his 6th term. It's a 2-year deal, my friends. He's doing something right. We'll be back with our program in just a moment.
Retro TV, your home for classic television. The greatest shows in history are here for you to enjoy. Join Cosby and Culp as secret agent men in I Spy. Ride along the Ponderosa with the Cartwrights in Bonanza. Hit the beat with Joe Friday in Dragnet. And that's not all. Retro TV offers endless fun and excitement for the whole family to enjoy. Retro TV, the best in classic television.
You can find Retro TV on over-the-air channel 13.4.
Back here on the program. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Okay. Yes, John, this is the same lady.
Oh, you're the same caller.
The reason why I was giving the background, okay, by the time...
Okay.
Are you there?
Yeah, short on time. Can you just...
Oh, okay. Okay, so my phone wasn't working, okay?
All right.
By the time someone finally called on the 26th, these officers came out, cussed me, shackled me, beat me, took 2.5 hours at the hospital to take pictures of the bruises of them. They surrounded me, 5 of them, started screaming, quit resist. I'm standing out there with 22 oxy tablets that I found in my backyard out of a prescription I had just gotten of 90. They're screaming at me with the flashlights in their face, yelling, quit resisting. When was the last time you did math? I do not do math. Then I was at Sierra Vista Mall, taking my phone into Cricket. 7 of them showed up. I had my bags packed to go visit my mother in Oregon, who is dying. They showed up with a shopping cart, loaded all my stuff in there, arrested me for trespassing, which I had my receipt, my phone, it was malfunctioning, taking it in. Once again, cuffed, shackled, beaten, taken to jail for 30 minutes, then released. They destroyed all my property, which includes...
Okay, let me ask you a quick question. I want to interrupt you there. Was this Fresno PD or was this Clovis PD?
of the cameras. I think they should be rolling all the time.
Okay. All right. All right. She's in favor of body cams then. I understand what you're saying, ma'am. Okay. It sounds like she's in favor of body cams. But
Yeah,
again,
I believe so. And I think what she was concerned about is she has some allegations that she wanted to make sure were documented on the video, and if the cameras are rolling all the time, then there's a better opportunity for those things to be captured for her, which would help her articulate her concerns about how she was treated.
Yeah, I have a lot to get to today here on the program, and we've already burned like 26, 27 minutes, and we got a lot to talk about. Let's go with another email question quickly, and we'll go through these videos in full screens. Will the Manchester Center makeover, if it happens, which is oh my God, what a massive project. I'm sure you saw that in the paper.
Yeah.
Will you, in fact, add more officers for policing in the area to make it easier? I think they want to put a substation inside Manchester, right, once this thing is completed. If it is.
Well, actually, I think it would be larger than a substation. They could have specialty units there because it's such a large location. It has great parking. One of the things about Manchester, it is centrally located in the city of Fresno, and it's the kind of center for us to respond from. So it's a good location for a large substation or specialty units.
Okay. All right. Another call. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, just a general question. How long do you keep the information about a person on your computer system? I mean, is it anything that happened as long as they lived, or the last 20 years? Or what is it? Just curiosity. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
That's a good question. Generally, the information...
What's he asking? He's asking if someone gets arrested, how long does that stay in your system?
I believe, or any information. And
okay.
For example, the city of Fresno, we utilize a state system, and we gather a lot of our information from the state system. However, we have our own internal system that we utilize as well. So anybody who is a victim or a reporting party or a witness in a call, that information goes into our system and it stays in there indefinitely. We don't purge that information out of our system.
Yeah, okay. Let's put up one of the full screens before we go to break, and that is the Fresno Police Department budget, circa 2015/16. That's the fiscal year. So here it is right here, $160.3 million, which is up by more than $6 million for the fiscal year the previous year. This was the proposal by the mayor, which I believe got approved last night or yesterday morning by the council.
I believe it was approved yesterday.
Approved yesterday. So you must be in favor of this. Good news, right? I mean, you got more money.
Oh, absolutely. It's good news. And, you know, the one thing that I applaud the mayor for is she is adding 43 new officers. But I want to caution the community. We are supposed to be at 717 officers right now, and we're going into this new fiscal year at 692 officers. So the reality is, with the 43 and the officers that we are minus, we really need to hire 68 officers. Through that year, we will lose 30 to 35 officers through attrition. So the reality is, for us to get to the 760 officers that the city has earmarked, we really will have to hire approximately 100 officers over the next 12 months, which is going to be very difficult to do because our recruiting and retention of officers and competing against the other departments is very challenging right now.
Yeah, caller, hang on a minute. I want to put that full screen up of the authorized sworn positions, what you're talking about right now, before I lose that point of contention there. There it is. That's what you're talking about right there for the fiscal year. 760, 43 from the previous year, but you're saying you need an additional 68? Well, 66?
We will need at least an additional 67 officers to be able to get to 760 on top of that 43. Approximately a total of 100 officers over the next 12 months.
Because of the officers you may lose through retirement, or
Correct.
whatever. Okay.
Correct.
All right. We do have a call on the line. Caller, I'm going to ask you to wait until after the break. We do have to go to a commercial. We're going to be back in a moment, though, so hang on. 436-MeTV, option 11. Back with Jacky Parks in just a moment.
Tune in to Heartland for the best in true country music. Relive vintage specials, one-of-a-kind concerts, and country music's earliest videos. Heartland is the heart of country, the only place where you can find country music, country stars, and country lifestyles 24/7. Heartland, the heart of country.
Now on channel 13.2.
Hello, I'm John Walsh. We need your help to capture this fugitive. Francisco Molina Nieve has been on the run since March 2008. The police and the FBI need your help tracking this coward down. He's wanted for brutally beating his girlfriend and for the use of a firearm. He has 3 freckles and a crescent shape under his right eye. Call the Colorado FBI at 303-629-7171 if you know where he's hiding.
Back here on the program with Jacky Parks. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Well, John, you're too nice to work for the media, too. I think.
Go ahead.
Hey, it's me again, the person that had the problems. But the whole point of me calling the officer is when I went to court, the Fresno police officers there, who have been very supportive, very kind, they advised me to file a complaint against these officers. And by the way, I never did get to see my mother. She died the day after Thanksgiving.
I'm sorry to
I
hear
haven't
that.
seen her for 5 years. So, yeah, they put a stop to my trip.
Okay.
And now what I'm afraid of, not with Fresno, but with Clovis, and I'm glad to hear this woman's going to be on Monday from Clovis. Maybe I should talk to her.
Yeah, we're going to have, as a matter of fact, we were kind of talking off the air. Thank you for the call. We're kind of talking off air a little bit. We're going to have Janet Stoll-Lee from the Clovis Police Department here on Monday. She's a very nice young lady. We work together at KMPH. But I'm glad you're here today. So
yeah.
I do want to put up another full screen. Police Focus on Crime 2015/16. That's the fiscal year. So we took some of these out of the Fresno Bee and what the proposed budget was that was approved yesterday. Do you agree with some of this stuff that you see up on the screen here?
Oh, absolutely. I can tell you the Skywatch program is so key to the safety of our citizens and to our officers. We really need to find a way to keep that helicopter up in the air. It is our ability to safely follow without having to have these crazy police chases. By utilizing the helicopter, we can parallel, they can start directing us to locations and we can meet there. Also, the helicopter is a great way to gather evidence through their video that they utilize on board. It's just a fantastic tool. There are times in the middle of the night once they shine their spotlight onto a vehicle that we're trying to stop or that is involved in some investigation that we're doing, that the individual's behavior instantly will change because they know that helicopter is above them.
Yeah. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
I'm sorry, we got cut off again. Anyway,
okay.
the officer
Ma'am?
that is on the...
Okay, let me just say, I don't want to be rude or anything, but I mean, maybe 1 or 2 calls per show is okay, but I appreciate your interest in your phone calls very, very much. But unless you have like a different type of question, to go on and on about just one topic is, I don't know what you think.
It's going to be hard to, and it's hard for me to relate because it's a situation that didn't happen in the city of Fresno, and I'm probably not the best person to provide any advice or try to answer the questions.
But I do want to put that full screen back up real quick, the one that we just had up with the helicopter, because Larry Hustetti, who is one of the pilots there at Skywatch, he was on this program. And he's just telling us, you're right about the changed behavior of some of these criminals that are trying to get away. They're jumping from backyard to backyard.
Absolutely.
And that helicopter is a very useful tool. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air. Caller?
Yeah, let me ask your guest, why don't, from the time there's a crime or by the time they get the call, any officer, what's the average time to get to the crime scene? Number two is, why isn't there more?
If I'm hearing the question correctly, you're asking basically what our response time is from the time that somebody contacts our dispatch, and it varies. But I can tell you it is increased dramatically when we changed from 5 policing districts and reduced ourselves down to 4 policing districts. And I believe we are definitely in a double-digit response time now. It is not a response time that we are happy with or comfortable with, and I personally feel that our community deserves a faster response.
Yeah, okay. Have another call here. Let's see who this is. Good morning. You're on Connect with me. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hello, go ahead.
I was calling about, they had a meeting on grow of marijuana, and I was wondering how much they're pay attention to the people that need it for medication to be able to grow their own, and how much emphasis they're putting on that so they can grow outside and not inside where it is so expensive for the lighting and everything. How that is going to be handled.
Well, that's a great question, and I apologize. I don't have a specific answer for you. I can tell you that we have, from a police perspective, we're very concerned if folks are growing marijuana outside their residence, because that is in plain sight for neighbors or other folks who may know that they are utilizing or growing medical marijuana. And that's where we will run into problems when people try to come and steal their marijuana, or home invasions happen because they try to come into your house, force their way in.
Because they know you're growing it.
Absolutely, and I know we're very concerned about that.
Yeah, is some of that property crime, is that up because of the marijuana grow?
I think the property crime really is, and I hate to beat it so badly, but Prop 47 is really our animal that has created our issues with the property crimes going up.
Yeah, we have a full screen on crime in Fresno 2015, and violent crime is up 16% from a year ago. I don't know if Prop 47 has anything to do with it, but it looks like it could. Street robberies are up. This is where, maybe 2 or 3 thugs are jumping out of a car and attacking people, stealing their purses, whatever the case may be, their wallets, they stick them up. But Prop 47 just doesn't make, it's never made sense to me, and it's never made sense to you and a lot of other people. Why it and how it passed is beyond me. I don't know.
Well, I think, if you remember the campaign for Prop 47, they really tried to drive home that this was going to bring in a lot more money for education. It was a good thing for education. It would save money by keeping nonviolent criminals, letting them go instead of keeping them incarcerated. And what a lot of people don't understand is the laws that were changed with Prop 47, particularly the drug laws. These folks will get violent, and they can be very violent when they're under the influence of methamphetamine particularly, or if they're not getting the drug of choice that they need, whether it be heroin or some other type of drug. And now that these are misdemeanor crimes, we don't have the teeth to force these individuals. When it was a felony, we could force them into a program. Now, as a misdemeanor crime, there's no leverage like we used to have to force them into a program to try to get help. Also, because they're not being arrested and they're issued a citation, they're back on the street again. So they're free to victimize and continue to commit thefts or victimize individuals.
Are most of the crimes that you see, I got to go to break here, but are most of the crimes that you're seeing, and I know you don't keep track of maybe like Jerry Dyer does, but are most of the crimes related to drugs, and are most of the crimes related to gangs?
Absolutely. Gangs and drugs are really what drive a lot of our violent crime.
Yeah. Okay. We're talking with Jacky Parks. He's the president of the Fresno Police Officers Association. I'm glad you're here. 436 MeTV option 11. Back in a moment.
The Ballad of Andy and Barney. Andy and Barney were lawmen, bravest you ever did see. Warned every crook in the record book to stay out of Mayberry. They were the law.
Yes, they were the law, and they didn't know fear.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I guess to sum it up, you could say there's 3 reasons why there's so little crime in Mayberry. There's Andy, and there's me, and baby makes 3.
Now on MeTV Fresno.
Want to create something extraordinary? Create perfection. Our lifestyle appliances make it easy. KitchenAid, Ventura TV appliance, and you, when only the best will do.
We're back here on the program talking to Jacky Parks, the president of the Fresno Police Officers Association, and I do want to urge people to go to, maybe you can catch this online. It ran on Tuesday, June 16th, or maybe today's paper has more about it too, or any day that you can search online. But it talks about, Jerry Dyer right there below the fold, of course, talking about the police budget, the city budget, and how much money will be allocated for the Fresno Police Department. I do want to kind of switch topics here a little bit, and that is I do want to talk a little bit about the Janessa Ramirez case. Heartbreaking story. Back, I believe, in January, this is when this happened, a gang shooting, and bullet traveled more than 200 yards, killing the 9-year-old girl, and heartbreaking story. I just can't imagine a bullet traveling. I mean, I guess it was just her time. I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it, Jacky. And, where this case stands, we've got 2 guys that were initially arrested, Brian Cooks and Isaac Stafford. There they are right there, responsible for this crime, allegedly so. There's been no trial yet. What do you make of a crime like this? It's just unimaginable.
And it's very hard on a community. I mean, we all know our community really rallied behind the family, and I don't think it matters who you were. I think it impacted gang members. Nobody.
It did?
Really?
Really?
I believe it does. I
You
believe
think it took gang members by surprise?
I think it has its impact on gang members, and
Are we still
they
feeling
have
the
kids,
effects?
they have children, and they may have friction and animosity with each other, and typically when they do that, they have no regard for anyone else. And this is a prime example of the outcome of one of those situations. But I do believe it does have an impact. And I believe that's why these 2 individuals were arrested for the crime, is because some of their friends, some of their acquaintances that they hang out with most likely had to draw a line. And that's why these guys were arrested for the crime.
Caller, hang on a moment. Are we still feeling the effects of this so many months later?
Well, I think so. I mean, we're still talking about it, and as the weather is heating up, tensions are heating up out there, as we're all aware. And so, we're in for a rough summer, and the potential for something like this to happen again is still out there.
Yeah, caller, go ahead.
Yes, this is to the president of the union, the police association.
Yes.
Did he hear what I said to the woman that, as you just were watching, that had her daughter killed and was actually murdered? Let's put it another way.
Yeah.
Now, I told her, and I'm going to say it again, that I went to a District 4 meeting with Westerland, and in that meeting was Dyer. I don't like him, so I call him Dyer. And he turned around and I asked him, why don't they use a Patriot Act? If you use a Patriot Act, you can turn right around and get these guys off the street, and you can ship them anywhere in the world. We don't care. Because that's, so, now, what is the association's feeling on naming what these people really are They're not gangs. They're neighborhood terrorists. Dyer said that he could turn right around and he didn't want to call them terrorists because he could save them. Well, okay. So we have saved them, and people are getting shot almost on a daily basis, just walking down the street, get their kneecaps blown off, and then you turn right around and you got little children being shot and killed. Now, are we still saving the criminals and forgetting the victims and the people of Fresno?
Okay, thank you.
Well, I can sense that there is grave concern for our community and his voice and frustration. And I share your frustration, and I can assure you that the police officers of the city of Fresno and police officers in general share that frustration. Unfortunately, we can't utilize the Patriot Act like federal law enforcement can. We are local law enforcement, and we don't have the luxury to utilize the Patriot Act like a federal agency. Correct, under the law. Now, I have no problem saying that gang members are no different than terrorists, and they do it in our local communities. And whether they like it or not, it's the truth. They terrorize our community in many ways.
Can they be saved?
You know, there are some that can be saved if they can find their way. The reality is not many of them will find that way. As far as law enforcement saving them, I don't see that happening. I know we try to have an impact. We try to talk to these guys while we're out there, but we have very little influence on them.
Yeah. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yes, I just wanted to ask, you know, when the police department gets things they want in their budgets and so forth, you'll see the mayor and you'll see Chief Dyer and you'll see Jacky Parks up there, you know, at a press at a press deal. But whenever something goes wrong with the actual officers, like you had one of the chiefs there, you know, and mixed up in drugs and so forth, and some other police officers. Whenever you see a police officer that's, you know, done something wrong and broken the law, you'll see the chief and you'll see the mayor, but you never see Jacky Parks and the Fresno Police Officers Association up there standing up for the people of Fresno. And I'm just wondering, why is that? Why is it that they always see a union president there when they want something from the budget, but they're never there to support the city and the people of Fresno when an officer does something wrong? Can he explain that for me?
Absolutely. I think that's a great question. And some of the reasons I'm not there is because I'm not invited to be there. Some of the reasons that I'm not there is because it's a personnel matter, and typically we cannot comment on a personnel matter. We don't employ that individual. The city of Fresno does. The chief of police is their commanding officer.
They're the supervisor. He's the supervisor.
Absolutely, they're the supervisor for them. So they have that responsibility to the community. Our role as the police association, if it is within course and scope, that we provide representation. So it would create a conflict for our member that we're supposed to be representing.
Case in point, Keith Foster, we can put his picture up here. I know we got to go to break a little bit, but I don't know what you can say about this situation. Are we still feeling the reverberations on this, or are we kind of just, you know, in a waiting mode on this Keith Foster thing? And where did the police union stand on, what was your stance on the Keith Foster situation?
Well, you know, again, it's a personnel matter, so I can't speak specifically to Deputy Chief Keith Foster's situation. I would ask, though, that right now there's allegations that have been made against him, but
nothing proven in court.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just as anybody that would be arrested or arraigned, they are innocent until proven guilty. And as you pointed out, we haven't heard anything recently, so it's hard to be patient. But I would just ask for everybody to be patient, allow the process to work. I think we've seen that the process does work, and give it that opportunity. I can tell you from our position at a police association, we don't want to have officers get in trouble. Officers that get in trouble cost us a lot of money. They ruin our reputation and what we stand for in law enforcement. It's not a positive thing at all, and we don't condone it or encourage it. And we believe if there are bad police officers, then they need to be punished, and they shouldn't be here.
Yeah, but the Police Officers Association, it's not your job to come out in public and either support or move against a particular officer. Is that right?
Typically, no, we don't.
It's not your job.
No.
Your job is to, like you said earlier, represent that officer either in negotiations or some other type of matter relating to the police department, but not come out in a news conference and say, well, I think Keith Foster, offer up an opinion about Keith Foster or any other officer.
Yeah, typically if there's going to be a response from the association, it would come after the process has been adjudicated and not prior to or during, because we want the process to take place and we don't want it to be influenced.
Got to take a quick break. 436 MeTV option 11. Back with Jacky Parks in just a moment.
Attention all units. We have reports of 2 motorcycle cops protecting California's highways.
That's for us, good buddy.
The Men of Chips are on MeTV.
Hi, I'm John Baker. I'm John Baker. It's Officer Baker.
He's the blonde one.
Hi there!
Officer Poncherello, man. Frank Poncherello. Oh, I'm Frank Poncherello.
And he's the one who's Eric Estrada.
There's no way I wouldn't remember a name like that.
Catch the blonde one and the one who's Eric Estrada.
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Got a quick question coming from a caller here. Go ahead. You're on the air on Connect with Me.
Yes, I was wanting to know why that the black fellow in all of that situation was not arrested with all the rest of them, and why Jerry Dyer didn't go ahead and go through with it, or was Jerry Dyer also involved in that?
Okay.
I'm not sure I completely understand the question, but the investigation is not a Fresno Police Department investigation. It's a federal investigation that
FBI.
is being conducted by the FBI. And I know that the chief was involved in the press conference portion.
Yeah,
I
we
know
got that B-roll. Go ahead and roll it. Jerry Dyer at that news conference. Go ahead, Jacky.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I know because it is a federal investigation that our chief, the mayor, our city manager were all very concerned that is there any other officers that could be related? And I know they had extensive conversations with the FBI, and at this point there is no other Fresno police officer that is being looked at, is my understanding.
Yeah, no, this was the news conference on the day of the announcement, and the stunned look on Jerry Dyer's face. He looked like he had lost his best friend, as you can imagine. You were not invited to this news conference, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, and that's why you were not there. But, at this point, there's an email question, one that I know you won't be able to answer, by the way. Will Keith Foster plea bargain out, his case?
Yeah,
I don't know that. We don't know that. Who knows? He doesn't even
only time will tell as more information comes out, and then that would be a decision for retired Deputy Chief Keith Foster or his attorney.
Right. I do want to put up the full screen. It shows Keith Foster and his background with the police department and how he rose through the ranks, and there it is right there. So he has a pretty impeccable record, at least before this happened. And how much of a shock was it to you and to other people you talked to within the department? We saw the shock look on Jerry Dyer's face. Yeah. I can imagine the shock wave, and are the shock waves still, are we getting aftershocks still?
Yeah, I was very shocked, as I think most of our officers were and our members. You know, I think that's a normal response. I personally have known him for a long time, have worked with him on many projects at the police department, have done things with him outside of the police department, and was shocked. But again, I am holding my judgment until there's an opportunity for everything, the process to take place, for him to receive his due process, and for everybody to listen to all of the facts and make a determination at the end.
Yeah, another call here. Go ahead, caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, I was just wondering, you know, when a police officer is found to have violated, you know, any regulations or broken any laws, let's say like that Keith officer here, and you see them, they all seem to, like, you know, retire or resign from the force, even like those officers who were found to have excessive force. Does that mean that they can still get their retirement even after they're found guilty and so forth, like these other officers were who were in that excessive force deal? Do they still get their retirement from Fresno Police Department? I mean, even though they're found guilty of breaking the law?
You know, I'm not sure which officers you would be talking about that were
Let's say
found
any of them.
guilty.
Let's
Yeah,
say any officer, including Keith Foster. Let's say he goes through the process, he's found guilty. I'm not saying he will, but if he does, will he get his retirement?
Yeah, he's actually already retired.
Okay.
So he does have his retirement. And even if he was found guilty, he would get to keep that retirement.
Okay.
Unlike many retirement systems, or perhaps the PERS system, where the cities or the state may pay into the system, pay the actual officer share. We pay our share into our retirement system. So the money is not just paid for by the city. We pay a share into it as well.
So that's money that he paid into that he's going to be getting back.
That's correct. It's a shared. It's split between the city and the actual officer, but not all cities or counties or state agencies do that. But at Fresno we do. So it's important to realize that. Now, as time goes on, again, the officers, if an officer gets terminated and they are not at age 50, which is the retirement age, they're not going to get a retirement.
I see. Mm-hmm.
If an officer is after age 50 or older and they get in trouble and they choose to retire, they would be able to retire.
Hey, before we got to go, and we're going to run out of time, can we run that B-roll just real quick, that Janessa Ramirez Shrine? It goes 58 seconds. We don't have to run the whole thing. I just want to put it up for a couple of seconds here before we go out, Jackie. And that is, this is one of the reasons why anybody like yourself, like Jerry Dyer, like Larry Hustetti, any of them, it's why you become a police officer, to try to prevent situations like this. I want to end the show on this shrine here for Janessa Ramirez, because 9 years old, a life cut way, way, way too short. Just breaks my heart to see this. Anyway, I'm glad you were here, and I hope you come back soon.
Well, thanks
Jackie.
for having me again.
Yeah, well, thank you, and
Thank
continued
you.
success.
Yeah.
And I hope you get elected again.
Well, thank
Another
you.
term, a 7th consecutive term. Anyway, Jacky Parks, thank you for your time. He is the president of the Fresno Police Officers Association. We're back tomorrow with another edition of Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno. Glad you called in. Glad you were a part of the program. See you then. Have a good day.